going to Trump events, he thought about uniting bikers under one political banner. He was going to do a patch over for the bikers against Sharia law and take over their club.
I'm from the OG, the bikers against the Islamic moon god Allah. We have the longest patch in existence.
He goes, he had, after all, been riding all his life, though always as a lone wolf who refused to join a biker club. So it goes on here, says, these bikers, like 70s, they're talking about like the broader sort of Trump bike-loving community. These bikers like 70s rock and kitschy flag-adorned Americana, and they exalt veterans. Many of these bikers are themselves veterans. I would like to look into a little bit more of that, because I think that these are like the guys who wear the veteran of the Cold War hat. These are Cold War veterans.
A lot of Coast Guard guys there, probably.
Didn't there was a Bikers for Trump guy that had like family member of a Vietnam veteran?
Yes, he did. Yes. When they met at the White House, he had a patch that said family member of a Vietnam veteran.
That owns.
Gulf War television watcher.
I watched every single one of those bombs drop onto those Islamic style buildings, sir.
So it goes here. Many of these bikers, and the ones who aren't, tend to have a view, lingering from the political and cultural wars around the Vietnam War, of veterans as a class of people abandoned and disdained by liberal America, whom bikers have a duty to respect and support. The annual Rolling Thunder Biker Rally, which began in 1987 and last year drew 500,000 riders to Washington, D.C., shares a name with President Lyndon Johnson's brutal bombing campaign of North Vietnam from 1965 to 1968. It started off as a rally to bring attention to the damaging lie that a string of Republican and Democratic administrations had ignored evidence that the Vietnamese government was secretly imprisoning living American service members listed as missing in action. This is, of course, the entire canon of 80s action films, from Rambo 2 to the actual missing in action films.
Yeah.
And the POW/MIA flag, which is now, I think, almost required by law to fly under the American flag at almost every public sporting event.
Yeah.
Quote here from a biker: "We like him because he says what he thinks, he loves America, and he doesn't take any shit from anybody," one biker for Trump, a 55-year-old welding inspector at a Maryland power plant, told me. That's how bikers are, too. In November 2015, Cox began touring biker bars on the eastern seaboard at a point, this is sort of like the film Cruising, at a point in the 2016 presidential campaign when most respectable observers still thought Trump's candidacy was a bizarre stunt. He found that 9 out of 10 bikers he talked to were Trump fans, and that he threw his first 9 out of 10 Bikers for Trump rally in November 2015 at a bar called Bone Shakers in Virginia Beach. Stefan, I do like this bar tour he's talking about. I can imagine every single one of them being featured on Bar Rescue.
Absolutely, yeah. High Octane Saloon is the next one here.
And Stefan, I know you and Matt here. We're all huge fans of the Bar Rescue show.
Oh yeah.
And a recurring theme on that show is Taffer having to rescue bars that have a biker problem, or a bar that he embraces the biker culture. It's like it can be both an asset or a detriment to your business. But this Taffer is always dealing with bikers in various ways.
Yeah, well, his basic premise is usually if a bar is seen as a biker bar, that's bad because women don't want to go. So you need it to be biker friendly without being a biker bar. And his solution to that, as his solution is to every problem, is to just turn it into Applebee's, but with like some bikes on the wall or something. That's it.
This goes here. His bikers rolled into Trump rallies, sometimes 2,000 or 3,000 strong, acting as an ad hoc security force, throwing out unruly protesters and taking it upon themselves to cordon off anti-Trump protesters outside. Sometimes they openly carried sidearms. One biker told The Guardian in July 2016, "We protect the police as much as the police protect us."
I'm sure the cops feel very much more safe knowing that there's a fucking 55-year-old fucking dentist with diabetic support hose on and a gun that he's probably never fired wedged in his gunt.
But this is what I think of when I think of biker gangs: is we're there to protect the police.
Cops. That's the thing. Bikers love the police. That's the one thing we know about them.
So it's going on here.
They're called in-law biker gangs.
That's why the Hells Angels were so feared. They made it clear that they respected the police way more than the other gangs and would do anything for them.
So it says, until we got involved, you could barely have a Trump rally without Antifas shutting it down. So a man who said that it didn't seem incongruous that he walked around drinking beer straight from a pitcher. He said, I always say 1 biker equals 1 Antifa riot.
So, like, you cause one or so? What?
I don't know.
I think he's trying to say 1 ranger, 1 riot, but he saw half of David Mamet's Spartan and tried to recite that quote from the. That's where the quote comes from, by the way. David Mamet's Spartan.
He goes, but the bikers didn't engage in much actual violence at Trump's rallies. Part of their and Trump's core ideology is an almost worshipful respect for the authority of law enforcement, which they believe is under terroristic assault from left-wing groups and Black Lives Matter. The bikers coordinated their arrival with state police forces and eventually the RNC. Going on here, it says here, this is one of the bikers he's profiled before, the guy who said 1 ranger, 1 biker, 1 Antifa riot, John Balazak. It said here he was going
John
to
Balzac, did you say?
Yeah, John Balzac. Balzac. Named after the French novelist. He goes,
1 biker, 1 functioning artery.
He goes, he was going to leave his Kawasaki dirt bike outfitted with imitation machine guns and Claymore mines.
God damn, this is terrifying.
Imitation machine guns and Claymore mines by the Unity Bridge and walk over to the White House just to wave his flags over there for a while.
It's children. This is kids. I gotta put fake guns on my bike, and I'm gonna wave a flag at the president
and fake Claymore mines.
Oh my God! You're just a big fat baby.
The Kawasaki dirt bike was like the kid's dirt bike you could get in like the Sears catalog too.
Yeah, he's just a big fat baby in a leather vest.
He said he picked up his flagpole, to which he'd affixed Gadsden and Trump flags, and walked.
He picked up his flagpole with his fat ravioli hands and then waddled over.
He goes, we walked toward the White House, passing a young woman on a bike who saw Balazek's giant high-visibility yellow vest adorned with Bikers for Trump patches and gave him the finger. Love you too, and nice tail, he shouted as she went by. Moments later, we passed a white man wearing a t-shirt that said blacks commit hate crimes and say racist things too, who gave him a silent thumbs up, which he acknowledged with a nod.
Blacks commit hate crimes and say racist things too was probably the most ill-fated sequel to Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Both hosted by Bill Cosby.
We're just a bunch of bikers who love the president, he told me, before launching into a merry inventory of the guns he owns back in Maryland.
No, you mean the actual guns, not the plastic fake toy guns that he has on his bike.
And relaying some war stories of battling Antifas.
Not real war stories, like an actual veteran of a military campaign.
Battling Antifas, which is what he called pretty much anyone who he got into it with at a Trump rally.
So him saying, like you too, nice butt, that's probably a war story for him.
Yeah, no, that is the battle of the parking lot.
Yeah.
He emerged with scars, but he won.
The profile's a lady biker for Trump named Londa Gatt.
That is what a sexy name.
And it says, when she's in her full getup, she's like a casting director's vision of a no-bullshit woman biker. Leather vest and bejeweled black headband above a thoughtfully coiffed blonde hair. She's middle-aged, lives and works in exurban Detroit as a part-time in-home nurse and hairdresser, and not long ago switched from riding dirt bikes to a Harley. It goes on here. The bikers are almost always engaged in some kind of action, from small showings like a group protesting Hillary Clinton's book tour in suburban Connecticut.
Oh, man, that must have been real rough. They got to swing their fucking bike chains at a bunch of wine moms.
They would get washed by some of the Hillary Fedai.
Oh, my God.
They would get Philippe Reigns would fucking just in an afternoon take these guys out.
Can you imagine the women who waited? They've been there maybe 12 hours in front of a Barnes and Noble to get a seat, and then these fucking assholes show up to try to prevent Hillary from coming and them getting their book signed. They would destroy them.
They would wash these fucking bike guys easily.
The police better bring SWAT to protect the bikers for Trump from the Hillary Fedayeen.
Yeah, dude, Adam Parkamenko is just gonna start biting people into people's necks. Just they would fucking own them.
So the protesting Hillary Clinton's book tour in suburban Connecticut, to volunteering on political campaigns for Trump-minded candidates, to organizing culture war battles like the ride GAT organized to support a 2017 Kid Rock Arena concert in Detroit. GAT is
just going to a concert.
GAT is a rather passionate fan of Kid Rock, and last year she went on his Chillin' the Most cruise, where she met Robert O'Neill, the Navy SEAL who shot Osama bin Laden. Al Sharpton was coming in and saying he was racist because of the backdrop he used 12 years ago, the Confederate flag, she said. And I'm like, really? If people did their education on the Confederate flag, it's not racist.
Now she can say that she, by going on a cruise with the guy who shot bin Laden, she's in SEAL Team 6.
The thing with these bikers is that I don't think anyone's actually ever seen like a real photo of one of their big like rallies or rides or whatever, because it's always like, oh, here's like the bikers for Trump at like the 2018 Ride for Israel or whatever, and then it's like a picture of those two like super fat identical twins.
No,
The McGuire brothers.
I have seen numerous pictures of the bikers and truckers for Trump shutting down all traffic on the Beltway.
Yeah, that's why Obama left office, because people say, oh, he was term limited, idiot. No, if you remember correctly, he was going to suspend the election and rule indefinitely, but then the bikers and truckers for Trump shut down all commerce in the Beltway, and he had to stop that. It's true.
I didn't see any video footage of it, but I definitely saw many still images of what looked like a traffic jam that was caused, I think, by the truckers.
That doesn't happen otherwise.
Or bikers for Trump.
The Beltway has no traffic unless you're intentionally trying to stop it.
So back to Ms. Gatt. It says here, I asked her what would happen if Trump didn't get reelected. Her eyes widened noticeably. She didn't seem to have ever contemplated the thought. I would be devastated, she said slowly. Even my kids, they laugh because I'm so passionate about it. I start talking to them and I'll start crying.